Hello, welcome back, and welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my homemade bone broth in the crock pot. It is so easy, so simple, and it just is perfect for a busy mom. Like myself, I just have no time to put a ton of effort into something like bone broth. So, also, bone broth has so many different health benefits. It's so good for your gut. It's really good for just all kinds of things, but it's really good to put in soups. And when you're sick and you want to sip on something hot that isn't going to make you throw up, sometimes bone broth is a really good thing for that. So anyway, I hope this video is informative and you guys find it helpful. So let's go ahead and let's get started.
All right, so what you're going to need are some bones. Today I'm using chicken bones and beef bones. The chicken bones I had cooked previously with a roasted chicken, but kept the bones for making bone broth. And we also have some old carrots in here and some onions, and some other garlic pieces in there too. You also are going to need some apple cider vinegar and water. And then obviously you're also going to need a crock pot. People also make this in the Instapot, but today I'm just making it in my crock pot. All right, so now you're just gonna go ahead and add all your ingredients, the bones, the veggies, and you can add whatever kind of veggies you'd like, but just to kind of give it some flavor. You can even add salt and pepper if you'd prefer, but I didn't add any of that kind of thing. I just added onions and carrots and some garlic scraps, I think. Anyway, and then you're gonna pour water over the top. I just pour enough that covers the whole, all your ingredients. Just make sure that the water is covering all your ingredients. And then you're going to take a couple splashes of apple cider vinegar. I don't have a precise measurement, but that's kind of what I do anyway. And then you're gonna go ahead and set your crock pot on low. And then you're gonna set it for 24 hours or let it cook for 24 hours. Some of us don't have that setting. I don't, so I just make sure that I cook it for 24 hours. And then you're going to put a lid on it and come back in 24 hours. Alright, so after it's been 24 hours, you're going to go ahead and shut your crock pot off and let it sit for 20-30 minutes just to kind of let it cool off and so that it's easier to handle. After that, you're going to take your broth. Now, as you can see, there's all the bones and the veggies and the meat, and you're going to want to strain off the broth. So that's the next step. And you're just going to strain it through some cloth and a strainer, and then put a bowl under both of those so that it catches the broth. And this is just so that it catches all the different pieces of meat and bone and doesn't let any bone or any pieces in the broth. So it strains it out and so that it's just broth. And as you can see, there's some of the leftovers, and the bones have been boiled and cooked, and all that good, healthy, nutritious stuff is off of it and in the broth. So, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Your broth is ready to go. Just make sure you get all the liquid out and strained off, and then you're left with a beautiful brown and golden broth. It tastes so good, and it is so good for you. It's really good in soups and stews. All right, so the next step is essentially just putting your broth in a container to store it. And I like to use just some glass pickle jars that I'm reusing, and they work great for in the fridge or in the freezer. If you're gonna put them in the freezer, make sure that you put the broth in the fridge a day ahead of time or for several hours. That way it just lets the jar and the broth cool down so that it doesn't explode in your freezer. And so anyway, that's kind of what I do. A lot of times I will freeze my broth because that's just the easiest. It keeps the most, or for the longest, and so yeah. So next is just to put them in the fridge, and then the next day I will take them out and put them in the freezer. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the whole recipe. That's how I make my bone broth. It is so easy, and bone broth is such a benefit to your health. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you tried making this recipe, let me know that also. I'd love to hear how yours turned out. Anyway, so yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more content like this. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great week, and we will see you next time. Bye!